This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for November 7th, 2023. It's currently October 2nd, 2023, 10:07 p.m. Eastern Time. The S&P 500 at the time of this reading is 4,288.39, and the shuffle file we're about to play was created on September 25th, 2023 at 2:21 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the day of the 7th, this is actually looking like a sidewaysy kind of day. We had the sneak preview card from the prior day also is kind of a sidewaysy energy. We do have a cross-reading congruency here, so sideways rotation there. But when we look at it from a 1 month standpoint as well, it's also a sidewaysy card. The truest card is it's resistance that's highlighted. Sorry, the 7th is sideways rotation because we have this, the Prince of Discs, which is rotation, sideways rotation along key support. There is a prominent peak that should stand out there as well. Behavior around the highest high, we establish support at a high. Usually it's a support that can be relied upon. I'm not so sure that's the case here on the 7th, but in any case, it's going to be an important price level on at least the 1 month scale there near the high. And behavior around the low for the day, we have a big move to the upside out of the low. It's pretty easy for me to see where the low is. As far as the high is, there's a couple of locations. So it's a sideways day, which makes it a little difficult to determine where the highest high and the lowest low are. But we start off in the pre-market with with bullish price swings, and we start off with a high sharp drop right around the open. Decline probably continues a little bit into the first half hour, and there's a trade opportunity there to open up a long position in the midst of that decline. We have another high. It may be that we have two highs actually here, but we should have a high around 10 o'clock. If not around 10 o'clock, then we should have one closer to 11 o'clock. Either way, I think there's a high there around 10 o'clock. You could close out of that long position there, and then we have a decline from a peak, notable decline on a one-day chart from a peak there between roughly 10 and 11, which then turns into a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance on a one-day chart, meet a secondary resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels and creating another high there. For the day, I think it's probably a higher high there. The Ace of Discs seems to me to be like probably where the high for the day is, or maybe a little bit before, probably somewhere between the 11 to 1 o'clock hour, probably closer to like 11:30. In any case, I would want to close out of, if I didn't close out of a long position at a high here, I would definitely want to make sure to get close out of a long position at a high just before midday there at that Ace of Discs. Ace of Discs implies a lot of price change, and since we have a low significator next to it, and a low signification is around a bullish card, I would say that there's a pretty notable decline off of this peak that we have around 11:30. Pretty notable peak to decline to a key support on a one-day chart at least, where we have a low between roughly 1 and 2, and then a prominent move higher reaching for distant resistance. By distant resistance, I mean not the next resistance. It could be the one after that. It could be several after that, but it's a big move that'll stand out coming out of the low. Makes sense when you look at the sun card for the low significator. And then after meeting that resistance, we have sideways rotation along key support, cross-reading congruency. That sideways rotation, we might rise to meet the nearest resistance and then fall back down and continue rotating sideways. But then in the last hour, that sideways rotation turns more into volatility. Looks like we have a prominent trough and a trade opportunity there around 3:30ish, and then we have a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of that period of volatility and taking us to a key resistance at the close that we met it's a resistance that we've met many times before and failed to break through. U-shaped dip in the post-market, interesting, and we opened right around whatever that resistance level that's going to be highlighted several times throughout the day here. Looks like we open right around that, so it might be that we open more sidewaysy tomorrow on the 8th as well. Guys, if you're interested in getting this information sooner so that you can plan accordingly, you can get this information. The earliest you can get this information is with our early access on our website, Tarot for Traders. Just go to tarotfortraders.com, our services, SO Meta posts. Right at the top, early access to our posts. Click here. $29 per month, $249 for the year, gets you early access. Most of the time, the readings are coming out about a month ahead of time. There are cases where they come out just a few days ahead of time, but for the most part, they come out much further out than that. It gives you extra time to plan ahead. Other ways to support the channel, we also offer private sessions, 60-minute and 90-minute consults. That's a one-on-one Zoom. Nice to meet you for those of you that go ahead and do that. And with that said, guys, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so there on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. Blessings to all my angel investors following the rules of karma, and I will see you guys on the next one.